Hello YouTube. Something very interesting about the Lake Vostok research in Antarctica was published in the Russian media on March 25th, 2022. Scientists have found particles of extraterrestrial origin in the ancient ice of Antarctica. Those who will listen to this video in the future need to remember that right now fierce war rages in Ukraine, where the armed forces of Ukraine put up resistance to invaders from the Russian Federation. But I do not view all of the Russian people as warmongers, as there is a growing number of those who protest the war. Hopefully they will bring the needed changes, but Russian scientific progress cannot be discarded. Now, my audience knows about the research of mine pertaining to Lake Vostok. Please see the playlist in my channel about the secrets of Antarctica. So, in late March of 2022, this interesting but alas limited bit of information was published in Russia. Apparently, much more extensive research is taking place there, but we just do not know enough. I'm talking about Lake Vostok. Unless there is a disclosure someday. You can see the link to the Russian language short video about the former storage of samples taken in the Lake Vostok station. It's the storage at that station, but there is a new temporary storage for the recent samples, but they're not showing it. I wonder why. So here's the March 25th story. Russian scientists working at the Vostok station in Antarctica have discovered extraterrestrial particles in the ancient Arctic ice, the so-called micrometeorites, said the director of Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute, geomorphologist Alexander Makarov. Russian scientists working at the Vostok station in Antarctica set themselves an ambitious task to extract ice, the age of which is approaching 2 million years. It will be the oldest ice ever discovered on Earth. So far, the age of the ice lifted from the glacier over Lake Vostok has been determined at 567,000 years. Ancient ice holds information about what life was like on our planet thousands and even millions years ago. Today we have well-studied ice samples dating back 440,000 years. In the near future, the assessment of the recently raised ice, whose age is approaching 600,000 years, will begin. We also understand where ice formed about 2 million years ago at the dawn of the development of our civilization during the Stone Age, and this ice can lie in Antarctica. So here's the question or questions from the media. And how do you study the ancient climate from the cores? Alexander Makarov replies, by examining the cores in the laboratory, our specialists measure the isotopic composition of ice. This data allows us to reconstruct the air temperature in the past. The electrical conductivity of the material is evaluated. It is an integral indicator of the content of chemical impurities. The concentration of salts of marine and terragenous, that is, brought from land, origin, the presence of traces of volcanic activity, and much more are determined. And how do you find substances of unearthly origin? Alexander Makarov replies, the mineral composition, or simply the dust concentration, complements the chemical analysis, and it allows you to find particles of extraterrestrial origin, the so-called micrometeorites, as well as layers of volcanic ash. There were greenhouse gases before, a very long time ago. By what criteria do you study them? Alexander Makarov. Measuring the concentration of gases in air bubbles allows us to judge the gas composition of the atmosphere in the past. And this is the only direct way to find out, for example, the concentration of greenhouse gases in the pre-industrial era. Even the minimum amount of air contained in the ice carries valuable information. For example, today we know for sure that the current concentration of carbon dioxide and methane is much higher than the maximum values over the past hundreds of thousands of years. That is, human activity has led to a significant change in the atmosphere. This is a scientifically proven fact. One Russian newspaper promised to publish more extensive coverage of the discoveries quite soon. If they do, I will let my audience know. Earlier, it was reported in the Russian media that the Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute is upgrading a complex of ice experimental pools designated for testing models of ships and engineering structures for operation in polar latitudes. Who is this scientist, Makarov? Well, he's a young man. He was born in 1982. He's a Russian geomorphologist, doctor of geographical sciences, professor of the Russian Academy of Sciences, director of the Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute, participant in more than 15 expeditions to the polar regions of the Earth. He worked with the Russian-German expeditions in the river Lena Delta, and later he led those expeditions for a number of years. Very interesting. And in 2009, on the basis of the collected materials, he defended his PhD thesis on this specialty geomorphology and evolutionary geography on the topic of the Laptev sea level fluctuations as the factor information of the Lena River Delta in Holocene. He also participated in the creation of a new modern research station on the island of Samoilovsky. In 2016, he was appointed deputy director of the institute, and then he headed, very interesting, the creation of the Russian Scientific Center in the Svalbard archipelago. This was a consortium of 12 Russian scientific organizations conducting a comprehensive study of the natural environment and the Arctic Ocean. And, well, for now 5 years, he's the director of the Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute. And he's also a lecturer in St. Petersburg. Very bright young man, but I want you to know something. He led expeditions and conducted studies in the area of extensive UFO and USO activities in the Arctic, like the Sea of Laptev. Please see my videos, and if you find it, maybe in the library or wherever you can, my book, Russia's USO Secrets, co-authored with Philip Mantle. Look, now this young scientist, bright scientist, is in Antarctica. I do not consider this to be a coincidence. I think they found something else of alien origin in that ice. We're just not being told. But something has to be told, and that's why we get this news out. There may be a preparation for a larger, announcement of news from Antarctica, so stay tuned. Please support my channel. You can find the links on how to do it in description to this video, and I thank those who have. And please subscribe to my channel, tell others, and I promise to bring you more interesting videos as soon as I can. Thank you.